Hello, today I'll be talking about sustainability education in elementary and middle schools for my final topic proposal. So the basic outline I'll be doing is background information on environmental awareness and environmental education in the US, and then I'll be tying that into a case study I found. And then I'll be going into my actual project, the objectives, the framework, the method, and the analysis. So environmental awareness in the US. Pretty much all of us know or have been aware about the current environmental issues that has been ongoing in the environment in the US for decades. Sea levels rising, warming temperatures, air pollution. But exactly how are Americans actually worried about the environment? A study was done in November 2016 of young adults 18 and older. Pretty much the question was, how worried are you about global warming? And the results showed that compared to 2008, Americans are more worried now than they were back then. Um, as you can see, in 2016, the percentage of Americans who were very worried was 19% compared to the Americans who were somewhat worried was 42%. So it's good that more Americans are worried about the environment and global warming. However, if you look at the graph throughout the years, the amount of people who are actually very worried about the environment is nothing compared to the people who were somewhat on the fence about it. So there needs to be more emphasis on exactly how crucial it is for the environment, and how exactly we should be more critical about environmental change and environmental knowledge in the US. So this brings me to the significance of environmental education. So environmental education, some people think, oh, it's nothing, it's just a small, like just one topic, it doesn't really have an impact in my life. But actually, environmental education has touches in social and economic aspects of all of our lives. So if you look at the picture, environmental education, it brings awareness to the environment, which also in a person, it can bring a change in attitude, and the change in attitude leads to action. And if you look, all of these have different aspects of individual that is um, enhanced. So in terms of awareness, a person gains more knowledge, a person gains more skill, and in terms of attitude, a person is more civically engaged in their society, in their communities. So they actually become better citizens through a change in attitude in how they view and perceive the environment and environmental changes. And in action, this leads to group participation, citizen participation, lots of research done. So all of these aspects are really important, are critical skills that we as citizens could use in our life. So environmental education is not just, something for people who are only interested in the environment, but something that everyone could benefit from as well. So the case study I found was done in 2019, and specifically the case study was done on 464 university freshmen on how they perceive environmental education and education for sustainable development. And the study found that out of all the different factors that could influence young adults, family and school, specifically educators, are the primarily influential factors on how students become more environmental aware and have action for environmental sustainability. And the results in the study show that younger students compared to the older students were actually more engaged in environmental education, and they actually had a higher sense of connectedness to the environment compared to the older students. And this pretty much showed that long-term establishment, beginning from early childhood education all the way to adulthood, is necessary in order for there to be an installment of environmental awareness, environmental behavior, and action done. And this graph I have here from the study shows that compared to environmental education, which is the light gray, students' perception of environmental education is much higher in each category. So for 40% for education, around 32% for environmental attitudes, around 30% for ecological aspects. But in terms of their expectations on what can actually be done and what they can do, is drastically lower compared to just their overall awareness of it. So this pretty much, to me, it demonstrates that there is an inkling of awareness and a little bit of knowledge, but actual investment and action being done towards sustainability, towards environmental awareness, is very low in our school. And it starts at a young age. So this brings me to the objectives of my topic proposal. So the first objective I want to do is do an environmental outreach to Iowa's local and urban schools, specifically in Mahaska County, the county I'm currently residing in. The second objective I want to do is broaden students' outlook, not only on their local environment and their changes in the communities and their surroundings, but also the global perspective, because what happens in one's daily lifestyle may only seem like it matters to them, but it can have a profound effect on other people in other parts of the world. So really installing in the students this kind of global perspective of what we do can impact others is very important, and is one of the objectives that I want to try to do. And then the last objective is I want to facilitate youth involvement in their communities, get them more involved in their cities, in their towns, in their schools, get them more volunteering outdoors so they can have and grow this connectedness to nature, and in this they can connect to other people in their communities. I feel like this is the best way to build up the students' social skills as well, because this allows them to become more active in public events. So this is the last objective I would like to do and accomplish. So pretty much the timeline or the framework for this project, I'm aiming for 4 months. It could go on longer, but right now 4 months is the time frame. And as I said earlier, I will be doing it only in Mahaska County and in 2 cities that are in Mahaska County, which is Oskaloosa and Pella. So I'll be looking to do it in elementary and middle school in Oskaloosa, as well as Pella Christian Grade School. So how I will be going about this? Well, one of the first steps that is very vital is strategic communication. So pretty much showing and presenting myself, the organization I work for, what we do, our mission, why we do what we do, and what is our goal in contacting and reaching out to these communities. It's very vital to portray that to each school and to each educator. And this will be done through a mass email distribution to schools, principals, and to the educators as well. And attached to this, it will be like a Google Form survey where they can go on, and the survey will ask for the grade level they teach, how many students are in their class, what materials topic-wise are they interested in, would they like to be contacted in person or via Zoom because of the current situation. All of those will be gauged and received. And once I receive those responses, then I will be following up with a Zoom video call with each educator to specifically talk to them and understand exactly what they are looking for to incorporate in their individual classrooms. With that being said, the 3 topics that I would love to incorporate and do material on for education in these schools is overall climate change, conservation of clean drinking water, and marine biodiversity, because I feel like these 3 are not as well touched upon really in the schools. So how will I be gathering the data and analyzing whether this project is successful or not? Well, the educational materials will be given throughout posters, fun activities, projects, um, in-person animation videos, as well as I'll be conducting 5-minute quizzes in each topic. So to pretty much gauge how well the students are receiving these education materials. And at the very end of the whole project, the class will be doing a final class project where each student can pick and choose out of all the topics which one was their favorite and do a fun creative presentation to their parents and to the class as well to show what they learned. Another thing that I will be doing in terms of analyzing the data is I'll be conducting a questionnaire to the educators to pretty much gauge exactly how connected they are to the environment and nature. As I stated previously, one of the major factors influencing students is family and teachers. So I'll be using the connectedness to nature scale, or the CNS scale, which I found in a paper in 2000 that was done in 2004, that will pretty much gauge how well teachers are connected to nature. And then through permission, I would love to do a prior knowledge survey in the beginning of each class and then a post-knowledge survey to pretty much gauge exactly how effective my method was in delivering this education to them. And then these are my references. And thank you very much.